So welcome to Amber Time Podcast, episode 55, part 4, I think. Here back again with Mr. James Macdonnel himself,
Hey, thanks for having me back for a fourth time.
the fourth time. Did you
Yeah,
redeem yourself this week?
We won't spoil that yet, but
Well, I think we're going to go straight into it because we're going to talk
yeah,
about the second round of games. I think yours was a bit more eventful than mine, so what we should do is talk about yours first.
cool. Get the excitement out of the way, and then
So I'm gonna go through your battle rep pictures, and if you want to talk about what it is that the people are looking at on YouTube, and try and explain to the people that are listening on the podcast what happened.
cool. So before we start with this, it sounds like I've done a real professional thing. I've loads of pictures. I took pictures up until the action happened, and then I forgot, and then I took pictures after the action happened. Because there's like a 2 or 3 turn gap of like things happening where there's no pictures.
So if you hadn't listened to the previous episode, go and listen to it. But do you want to just quickly go through the list?
Yeah, cool. So he had an Iron Orc Warlord on a Wyvern with blessed inscriptions and a 5-up Aegis save and stuff.
Yep.
A Shaman on a Boar, an Iron Orc Chief BSB, Wizard, a Common Goblin Wizard with Witchcraft, an Adept, 28 Orc Edbashers, 30 Cave Goblins with Madgits and Bows, 20 Boar Boys out of core. Then he has 23 Iron Orcs, 11 Nashers, 5 Chaff Wolf Rider guys, 2 Skewers, and a Gargantula.
Nice. So, and you were playing your kind of MSU with the Vermin Demon, right?
Yeah, so Vermin Demon, 2 Monsters Rats, a load of Disciples, just kind of a load of small units.
Yeah. I'll just have it here for those people looking at YouTube. It's lots of footpads, 3 Disciples, 2 Dreadmills, and a small block of Vermin Guard as well. So, what was the scenario?
So the scenario was Breakthrough, or was it? No, it was Flags, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there was banners and what deployment and stuff
we got in Circle.
Cool.
So we got in Circle, and I believe I got to go first. Or I got to pick who went first, so Rob picked his side. And I got to pick who went first, so I just dropped everything to go for first because I still kind of new with the list. I wasn't 100% sure, so I was like, if I just throw it all down, I can't misdeploy things.
Yeah.
Go for that. So I dropped first. I felt pretty confident about it. I think last podcast I was as well. Also needed to redeem myself so I could get invited back. So there was a lot of pressure on, but I felt like I could pick my fights. Maybe I'd fight him, hopefully. So I dropped, as you can see in the first picture, and I stacked a bunch of footpads on the left because I wasn't really sure what to do with them because they're obviously not going to go chaffing because...
Aren't they scoring?
Yeah, they're scoring, so I didn't want them to go chaffing the big blocks because they'll just die.
But surely where they are, they're just going to get either teared off by a spider or stomped on?
Nah, because they're on the left. Then you have the Vermin Demon with an 18-inch bubble.
Oh, okay.
And then the Vermin Guard at the back are going to move left as the game goes on and pick them up and help them rally as they flee from the spider, is the idea.
Okay.
Then on the right-hand side, I have another unit of footpads just to throw some slings at the Nashers because if they get into my Disciples, they're pretty bad, but they die really easily to small shooting. The 2 wheels I dropped on the right-hand side, so obviously then he dropped his Wyvern and his Spider on the left.
Yeah.
So that's why the Demon and the Monsters Rats are on the opposite flank to kind of have a bit of something everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
I think I was pretty happy.
What did you think about like the kind of deployment matchup after deployment?
I think I was pretty okay with it. The 2 Doom wheels are kind of out of the game, but when I deployed, I kind of expected that to happen. I think maybe it's not the right decision, but I was kind of feeling that if I split them up, one Doom wheel's a bit crap because it's going to fluff and then get eaten by the Wyvern or the Spider. So I was like, right, I need to pair them together. So I was like, if I pair them on one flank, then pair the Div Magic out of the Demon with the 2 Monstrous Rats for combat on the other flank. Then I can, whichever flank he puts his monsters on, I can get him.
Yeah.
Was the thinking.
So
the wheels are
what was
out
the
of
plan
way,
with the Demon and the 2 Monstrous Rats?
So the 2 Monstrous Rats are going to move up onto the hill and zone, but they can also watch the side of the house in case the spider decides to come around. The Slingers are going to just throw a load of crap at the Gargantula and hope to pling off a wound or two, and I'm just going to Div Magic and zap the spider to bits, hopefully.
Okay.
With the Demon is the big plan.
Cool. And it looks like you actually did this in the first turn pretty well. I'm assuming this is the first turn.
Yeah, so then first turn, I move up, just kind of box him in. I think I'm out of charge range of everything. The 2 Monsters Rats move up onto the hill so that he can't push too hard in on top of me, because I was a bit worried about the 2 blocks just coming straight up the middle and not leaving me places to go. So yeah, I got a Fate's Judgment, I think it was, off and did 5 wounds to the spider, and he saved none of his armors. Or maybe I did 6 and he saved 1 or something bad like that. But I did that, but then the other spells didn't go off or were stopped, and then I threw 30 slings at him and did no more wounds. So I think it's still pretty good, but it's probably not as bad as it could have been. After I got the 5 wounds, I could have went a lot worse for him. So
yeah,
I got that, and everything else just kind of moved around. The Vermin Guard are holding the Lightning Rod as well, so I'm waiting to use that. I didn't bother using it turn 1 because I want to wait for his Wyvern to come out before I use
so
it
you
to
can
turn
just
off his
stick
fly.
it to the floor.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, right, okay, I'll take 1 round of shooting from the bolt throwers and hopefully not die.
I think they're going to do too much.
And then on the right-hand side, I had some success with the 2 wheels and the 10 footpads and killed, I think, 10 Nashers. So that's quite good.
That was very good.
Yeah, so then this is where I forgot to start taking pictures. So his Nasher charges into the footpads on the right-hand side of the board. I do the stand and shoot, don't kill him. He charges in and he dies. He pushes his Iron Orcs up behind the wall that's in the middle of the board. But the wall is like I think 15 inches or so from the hill.
Yeah.
So my 2 Monsters Rats are sitting there, and I think they need an 8 and a 9 with Swift Stride rerolling to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And the 2 units of Disciples are pretty close to getting in also.
So there was a lot of shit. You could also probably charge one of the Doom Wheels in as well if you really wanted.
Yeah, if I really wanted. The Doom Wheel can probably go as well if the Disciples clear out of the way.
Yeah.
But so he pushed up there. It was kind of weird as well.
Which of the 3 blocks is the Iron Orcs? Just the way I'm looking at it. The middle one
is the Iron
So he
Orcs,
had his big guns on the left, protected by the house. Then the Iron Orcs, and then the Cave Goblins with what are they called?
And the Madgets in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then his Shaman's hiding at the back in the Boar Boys. So he pushes up, then I was kind of for a minute or two thinking like, oh, do I, don't I, what'll I do? It's kind of a bit risky if I charge in and it doesn't work. I'm giving him like a pivot and then he'll charge and get a war cry and stuff and he can like just ruin me. But I went for it and I managed to, I don't have a picture of it, but I managed to get the Plague Disciples into the middle of him because he's 6 wide.
Yeah.
And I was able to put I was trying to put the Plague Disciples in the middle, but I couldn't wheel one of the rats around to get on the corner.
Yeah.
So I put 1 rat on the corner, 1 rat plugged into the 2 guys on the left, and then the Plague Disciples plugged into the front guys, or into the rest of the guys. Popped all the breath weapons, everything I could, and killed them to a man before they swung, I think.
Including the BSB?
Including the BSB. Oh, no, sorry, the BSB survived. But it was just the BSB standing there.
Okay.
It was kind of weird because I have, 14 toxic hits, 46 worth of toxic breath weapon, and then 33... No, 33
I'm guessing he did
5 attacks.
Paired weapons?
Yeah, he went paired weapons to try and swing back.
Yeah.
The Disciples are a bit weird as well because he gets to distract him from the wall and he's like, I'm hitting him on 5s but with hatred and battle focus. So it's kind of you're kind of okay with that.
It's actually perfect because you just get more rerolls.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, these aren't doubled. I'll just roll them again until they're the ones I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I got 19 with the breath weapon, blew up the unit. But then I got a bit worried for a second. So I needed, I think, like a 6 or 7 overrun to hit the wolves that were standing behind with each of the rats. Maybe a little longer, maybe an 8. But needed that with both of those, and I didn't get it. I think one ran 3 inches and the other ran 6 maybe or something. So one stopped an inch from the wolves. The other one is standing right with his corner at the big uns. So I was kind of like, this was really good, and now I could be in trouble.
But those guys are not that expensive though.
No, but
and you'd already killed a scoring unit, which is perfect.
Yeah. Oh, and I killed a spider at some point as well. I think Magic got the spider, so it's like, and I then went into his turn. He flank charged one of the monstrous rats that didn't overrun, so you can kind of see it in the picture.
I'll just go to the third one.
His wyvern, I chaffed and turned off his fly. He was standing at the corner of the house.
Oh yeah, and then the next turn you're just going to charge him with demon into it.
Yeah, so chaffing kind of thing. So I did that, and yeah, next turn I charge him with the demon. So I gave him options of like he could charge, and I was debating do I flee or not, but I was like, right, I'll keep him there, charge him with the demon. So
yeah,
I'm not sure if he saw that coming or not, but yeah, he decided after he couldn't fly and he was chaffed that he'd still go for it instead of trying to go in and kill the demon straight away. But yeah, so that happened. I was a bit like, well, I'm going to lose this monstrous rat, and then he's going to overrun into the flank of my plague disciples.
Yeah.
Who then can't go and charge off his boars with the wizard in them.
Yeah.
So we were kind of talking and we're like, oh yeah, this is like, he was trying to get the boars out of arc, and we were like, oh, well, you just killed the monster's rat and then you pin me anyway, so it's not that bad. And he even popped Warcry to make sure like his overruns would be like long,
maximized.
Yeah, so we kind of said that, and he's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter, like I'm definitely going to pin you. So then, if you go to picture 4, he didn't kill the monstrous rat.
Oh no!
So he does like 2 wounds to it or something. In fairness, he's like, I think it's 4s and 4s for him with a 4 regen or fortitude on my guy.
Yeah.
So it's a bit iffy. I did a couple of wounds with my 9 attacks, and somehow I stuck. I think I was on like an 8 with no reroll or a 9 with no reroll, but I stuck. And
maybe you got some kind of maximized discipline test, but I don't see how you could possibly survive that. Like charge in the flank with a big flank and 2 ranks, looks like 2 or 3 ranks.
Yeah, he has 3 ranks over me, so he's got like static of 5 plus 2 wounds is 7, and I think I killed 4 guys, so I think I was down 3, so it's like discipline 6 or something, and I passed.
Yeah, okay.
Basically I robbed him, like, but so then the bit we were saying about the boars not having to worry about the disciples.
Now they had to worry.
Now they have to worry. So the disciples obviously then run in. The wyvern kills a couple of the footpads. Doesn't break them though. They held as well.
So I guess you just reformed.
So yeah, I just kind of tidied myself up and then charged the vermin demon in. He manages to shoot off one of the wheels, and I kill everything else, and that's pretty much how the game ends then.
Shit. So it's pretty drastic.
Picture 4 I think is the bottom of turn 3 or 4.
So did the goblins panic or?
The goblins I think got charged by a couple of disciples, and then they had a steadfast and they failed it.
Ah, okay. And it looks like you charged the orcs in the flank with the other disciples?
Yeah, I charged the orcs in the flank with the other disciples and both wheels, I think, and he picked up 1 wheel maybe.
Yeah.
It just, cause the monstrous rat stuck, I just managed to then like take it all kind of.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it panned out really well. Rob was really nice, and he got kind of robbed with that one point of the monstrous rat not breaking, but I think he put himself in a bit of a bad situation with the going to the wall.
Yeah, the wall doesn't really work against hatred battle focus units.
No, and just it being so close to the hill and the two monstrous rats being able to charge off it, it was like it wasn't actually a safe place to go and stand.
Nice. So,
But,
what was the score in this game?
so I managed to pick up a 20, which was nice.
Nice. Well,
So that put me
congrats on that
24.
one.
Yeah, thank you. So I can stay on. That's why I'm here this week. Redeemed for now.
Exactly. So, my game was not as dramatic at all. Just going to go back to the first picture because I think we played on a very similar battlefield. So it was basically two impassable terrains on either side. I was playing against Ollie Mather and his Warriors list. And we talked about this on the last podcast. So I've got a lot of stuff that deals with the flayers. Like the Banshees deal really well with the flayers if they want to come around the back. And the Alchemy deals really well with the Warrior Knights, Chosen Chariot, and the Warriors to an extent. But I had to be really careful of the two Feldraks and the two Chosen Lords, because if he gets them all into combat, then it's not very good for the Barrack Guard. Even though I'm unbreakable, I'm just going to crumble away over a few turns. So I needed to make sure that I wasn't going to get combo charged by everything at once. So if I go back to your battlefield, basically what happened was he hid his Warrior Knights behind the hill, and he put his Lust Warriors, which is other small scoring unit, right in the corner of the table, and just zoned me with a Feldrak and a Chosen Chariot on that side. And then the other side, he zoned me with another Feldrak. His two units of Flayers were trying to get around the side, but didn't want to go close enough to my army that my Banshees could jump out and scream at him. He just played it really defensively, and then the big unit of Warriors just sat on the hill and took alchemy spells for 2-3 turns. And so my army was kind of deployed just in a block in the middle with the Varkalax running around on the outside. And I didn't really want to push at him because he was on the hill and he had reroll charge and the two big envy characters or pride characters in there, and also the Feldraks that could come in and push up. So I didn't really want to advance at him, and he didn't really want to advance at me. Right. And after a couple of turns of alchemy, I'd only killed like 5 warriors from the block. So we basically, after 3 turns, just said, do you want to call it a 10-10 because nothing's happening here? And we called it a 10-10.
Yeah. Save some suffering.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that would have happened was if he'd have made any mistakes, I would have picked up his chaff.
Yeah.
And if I'd have made any mistakes, I felt that he had more to gain.
Yeah. Yeah, you were right not to push at him with the hill because, like, if you overstep by an inch or two, it can cost you, like, probably 5 or 6 TPs. Yeah. Because he's going to pick up the secondary plus whatever block.
And I was like, well, I could alchemy you and try and be lucky for the rest of the game and just try and get that one unit of warriors off the hill. But after 3 turns, I hadn't killed that many because I failed. I think I failed to cast any spells in the first turn.
Right, that's not great. So he hasn't a whole lot to do while he's standing the hill, though, does he? It's strange. I'm surprised he stood there.
Yeah, he was trying to snipe my character, but I was just healing it every turn.
Yeah, like he's gonna get like a wound or 2 at best, and you just fix it, and it's kind of.
Yeah, so it was basically my magic phase, his magic phase, and we didn't really move a whole lot. Like I didn't have the long range chaff enough to actually get to him and block him.
Yeah.
And the Varkalax were quite expensive, so if I wanted to use those to block, then if it didn't work out, I would have lost more points than I gained.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of surprised. The 10-10 might hurt you both later on because it's like with the group stages and top 2 getting out, it's kind of like.
Yeah, but I'm just going to turn it up for the next round, James.
Yeah. Are you?
So maybe we should talk about that next.
Yeah. So
how many points? How many points you on now?
I am on 24. So I got 4 and 20.
I think I'm on 22.
22. You are.
I'm just gonna pull it up now. So, me and you table 1 apparently.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
sure
think that's
how
just random.
how
Yeah, I
that's
think it's just
happened.
random allocation or something.
Yeah.
But
But we're gonna play against each other in the next round, which should be quite fun.
yeah, it should be interesting.
Do you know what the scenario is?
I think it's breakthrough this time. Actually, I think that's why I got confused.
Okay.
This one's breakthrough, so my foot pads are going to do fantastic amounts of work. Hopefully,
Yeah, maybe.
if they can stay away from banshees
And
and
Varkalax.
yeah, and all those Varklax are dead. Like it's fine. Just Dreadmills and Vermin Demon are just going to eat them. It's fine.
All right.
I've imagined it in my head and like exactly how it's all gonna go, and I visualized it, and it's good. It's good.
Cool. All right. So how do you feel about this matchup then? Obviously, you've actually looked at my list at some point.
Yeah, I had a look after Cedric Blanks. I was like, oh shit, like he's gonna start talking crap at me, so I better have a look. But yeah, I'm not sure really. It's quite interesting. The vampire, I think the Vermin Demon's afraid of.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't really looked at his stats, but it says Monster Hunter on his thing, so I was like, he probably fucks up the Vermin Demon. Like.
I mean, you're gonna strike first.
Yeah, but it's 5 attacks. I've noticed the Vermin Demon isn't actually that good. He's got like in combat 5 attacks isn't a lot.
Yeah, I think I've got an Aegis save and should be interesting. Yeah. I think it's a fight that you probably win.
Yeah, I probably don't want it though.
Probably a bit risky, right?
Yeah, my guy is like an extra 315 points as well though, so you have more to gain.
Yeah.
If it's 50-50.
Yeah, and he's not my general, so.
Yeah. So then it's even more. Like my guy's 1,050 or something to kill, so like double your dude. The Banshees, I'm not sure, they could be a pain for all my little small units, but the 18-inch Discipline 9 bubble and stuff's weird. You're kind of like immune to a lot of.
Yeah, I think the tyrants on the rats is going to be the biggest problem for me.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I deal with your blocks though, because the Beauregard have lethal strike against everything, don't they?
Yeah.
And they've flame and standard, so they can turn off my fortitude save either way.
Yeah.
And then the ghouls have poison.
Yeah.
Which is also annoying for thing. And you have alchemy, so you could give them flaming attacks if you want. So they have flame and poison and stuff with reroll to wind.
Yeah.
So I think unless I can get like that kind of whole corner clipping action with something disciples or something into the middle, I don't want to go near either block.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think the deployment will be quite key, and also the battlefield, depending on how much impassable is there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it should be good.
So do you want to take the first turn or the second turn?
I'm not sure.
Because I know exactly what I want to do.
No, you don't. You're just bluffing me now. Mind games.
It starts now, James.
I mean, I think I want to go second.
You want to go second?
Yeah, my army can redeploy pretty quickly and like do whatever it wants, but it depends. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can just run up and zap things.
I guess we'll have to wait and see, right?
Yeah, we will. And we might actually remember to take proper pictures and stuff.
Yeah, we should probably do a full scale report.
Yeah, seems we're both gonna be using our time to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it should be good.
Yeah. All right, but I think we'll leave it at that. But
yeah,
thanks for coming on again, and I'm gonna smash you in a few days.
Nah, let's see. If I win, then you're not allowed to come on the podcast next week. Yeah, if I 20.
All right, you can do it on your own if you.
Just gonna be me talking to me. You can record it, but you're just not allowed to speak for the. Just half an hour of me talking about how shit you are.
Otherwise, it's going to be me the other way around, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, bud. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
All right, thanks. See you later.